Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the third edition of the NASSCOM International SME Conclave. In fact, we are thrilled to be back, to be talking to you, and I do hope that the conversations that we have lined up over the next few days will be useful and you will find them helpful in answering a lot of the questions that each of you are struggling with at this moment in time. This is a very interesting era for all of us in the technology industry. As you would know, a few weeks back, NASSCOM launched the 2021 strategic review, which is a look at the year that was 2021 for the tech industry. And what a phenomenal year it has been. A story of unprecedented transformation, resilience, growth. And you know what? While it has been all that, but we also know that the best is yet to come. And that's what makes it so exciting for all of us. In just the last 12 months, our industry has added around 30 billion in revenue and created 4.5 lakh additional jobs. Both are absolute records for the industry. It's a first ever. And just to put things in perspective, we are now home to a 227 billion industry. And it took us nearly 13 years to reach 150 billion as an industry. And given the current trend, we do believe that this industry, that you can add the next 150 billion in the next 5 years. The opportunities are absolutely unprecedented. But that said, I do not want to take away, even for a minute, from the struggles that we have all gone through over the last 2 years. The pandemic has been brutal and it has hit our SME community tremendously hard. In fact, research after research shows over 90% of SMEs were significantly impacted by the pandemic. More than half of you had to pivot your business models in order to survive, in order to get back to the growth story. And if we have to talk about resilience, we cannot but talk about the tech SME sector. I think you are not just the bedrock of the Indian tech industry, but you are also the poster child for resilience and for researchers. It is just fantastic to see how y'all are focused on building back your businesses. You're not just looking at going back to the past, because there makes no sense to go back to the past when we can shape a much better future. But it is fantastic to see, every single SME member that I talk to, it is just fantastic to see the focus on how do I disrupt the past? How do I disrupt the present to create a better future? What else do I need to do? What do I need to drive? And I think that is exactly the right conversation to have. And I hope that is the conversation we will be having at NISC over the next few days, because we have a once in a lifetime opportunity to not just inherit a new normal, but to create a new normal. And I strongly believe that we as an ecosystem cannot give up on these opportunities. And it cannot be done without the participation, without your participation. The tech SMEs are, I've said again and again, you are the bedrock of the tech industry. You will drive the change that we want to see in the tech industry. So this is going to be extremely important for us to figure out how we get right together. And as NASSCOM, I just want to leave you with what are the things we are prioritizing? What is our focus? So there are 3 areas that as NASSCOM, we have picked as our key priorities over the next few years. One, how do we enable the transformation of the industry? How do we enable the transformation of every single sector that makes up this fantastic industry that we have in India? what is needed for transformation, and how do, whether if it's policy, talent, how do we continue to work with you to enable what's needed for transformation? And also, how do we become the most effective storyteller of your transformation? How do we tell the story of the transformation of the tech industry in India loud and proud to the whole world? The second big priority for us to focus on is maximizing the impact of technology. How do we work with government, with industry to maximize the innovation that takes place in India, but also the impact that can take place because of the innovation? And we don't want an industry that just creates for the world. We want an industry that creates for India and the world. So how do we enable that? Once again, policies, talent, ecosystem development all become extremely critical, connecting the ecosystem, driving the reforms needed for easier market access, easier ease of doing business. And all of this becomes important. And the third priority for us is really what's next. How do we continue to look out to figure out what are the trends, what are the technologies that will have a tremendously disruptive role in our industry? And disruption is not a bad word. Disruption creates new opportunities. And how do we work with you? How do we work with government to ensure that we not only learn to harness and shape these trends, but also unlock their full potential for the benefit of our industry and, of course, for the benefit of India? How do we as an industry build a truly human-centric design principle where innovation and inclusion goes hand in hand? And I do, it's my dream that the tech industry in India has to become the poster child for human-centric technology and for technology for good. Innovation only makes sense to me when it solves big problems, when it improves human lives, when it improves human livelihood. And I do believe that we are perfectly placed to be the country that leads the way to show the world how it should be done. I feel very privileged to be in this industry and, of course, to be in NASSCOM at a time when we are poised to make such a huge difference to the world. As I said, the potential is unprecedented. We know that there is a tremendous opportunity for this industry to grow to around a 350 plus billion industry in the next 5 years. This is indeed India's decade, but we have to ensure that it is known as our decade, not just because of the growth of the industry or the growth of technology, how fast technology is adopted or integrated into our lives. But we have to ensure that this is known as our decade because we make technology truly human-centric. And of course, you have to lead that from the front. Without you, that is not going to happen. So once again, welcome to NISC. Look forward to the conversations and discussions over the next few days. Look forward to hearing from you. Tell us what has worked. Tell us what has not worked. And let us put our heads together to figure out how collectively we can not just strengthen the health of this industry, to strengthen the health of the SME, the tech SME ecosystem. How can we help you grow faster? But how can we collectively also position India as a true leader in the digital economy, where we show the world how innovation, technology, and inclusion absolutely goes hand in hand. Have a great conference. Thank you.